Ladies and gentlemen out there. Tonight we want to welcome you to our little pre-game show for our first MML Pro Game of the season, where Yate Yobz 2.3 will be facing Bill Cowher Power Hour, coached by More Shots. The other coach is S123 South, I think. I'm not sure about the name. We'll check on that in a bit.
For the
With
rest
me
of the game,
tonight,
we're just gonna call him South, I think.
South, yeah, that's easy, yeah. Shots and South, that's our names to go with. With me tonight are my co-hosts, Fnords.
Good evening, everyone. Coach Nords here, coming in from Sweden.
And on the other hand, from outside the EU, our coach, Harry Warthog.
Good evening, guys. Are we all okay?
We're all okay, I think. Guys, so this is the first game of the Pro season. Challenge League game has been played earlier, but this is our first game of the Pro season, so we as Pro coaches decided to run a little pre-game show about our expectations of the season, what's happening, what's new in the MML, and what's going on around the league right now. And in a bit we'll be switching to talking about the upcoming game, but I think first we should talk about our expectations for the season.
Yeah, and I mean, we had some changes in this season. I mean, they're really coming into effect in some part to the Challenge League, which is one of our leagues in MML this season, because last season we had pros participating in the Challenge League to make up for the players, and now we have a full second league, actually, of 32 players. So we have two leagues of 32 players. What do you guys think about that?
It's going to be an interesting season. I think what we might want to pick up on as well is within those 32 teams, there is, as you mentioned, the Challenge League. There's two coaches come up from the Challenge League, and I believe there's another new coach in there as well. Maybe a couple more. How many new coaches have we got in the Pro League this season? Do we know?
I'm starting from the beginning. I was picked up in the middle of the season 5, and I think we have maybe 3 more. Is that right?
I'm in a pro coach this season. Yeah, I think we have 2 or 3 more. And having played in the Challenge League last season, I can say there's been a lot of talk on our podcasts. You can check out those podcasts on our website, mmlpro.com. On the podcasts about the high quality of the Challenge League, judging from the games I've played there and the games I've seen, I gotta say, the level of play is not exactly as high as in the pros, at least not last season. We'll see how that changes this season, because I think there were some casual players there who just played along to play in any competition. But at the top 3 of each conference, top 3, top 4, it was highly competitive, and those games were scary. Those games were really scary, and I'm talking pro-level killer teams scary here. I was happy for every elf that survived every single game there, and I was happy to make it to the playoffs. It was insanely competitive, and I think we're going to see that even more this season, where it's actually about something. It's about being promoted to the pros, and where a lot of good, experienced coaches. Some of them were recruited through the Cladder, some of them through other leagues. A lot of new good coaches coming into that Challenge League.
Yeah, and I think we had did we have 15 or 16 coaches joining in this last month or something? I mean, the last 2 months or something. And I mean, mostly, I think everyone that joined was just directly asking, how do I join up for the league? You know, so I think this season we have people really, really interested in participating in the league play, even in the Challenge League. So I think you're right there. We're going to see a very high level of play in the Challenge League as well as the pros this season.
Yeah, I think the Challenge League is going to be really worth watching this season, because last season a lot of the pro coaches actually fielded a Challenge League team as well to make up the numbers, and I did myself, and I just didn't put that bit of interest into my Challenge League team. You were there because you was making the numbers up. And I've played a lot of these new coaches now in the farm, and they're all hyped up. They're all really looking forward to being in the Challenge League. I think what is going to make it that bit more interesting and exciting, there's going to be some low-level teams in there. Because obviously you've got the TV cap, and they're all going to be around the same level. There's still going to be some higher-level teams in there. But I think it's going to make it that bit more interesting, a bit more of a crunch match.
But it's also going to be more interesting in the pros because we talked about the challenge coaches going up, being promoted to the pros. Now there's no laying back in the pros anymore. So if you have a tough start of the season and you say, fork it, I'm actually gonna hold my team back, come back next season, come back stronger. That might not be a smart move. Every single win counts, every single one of them, because if you finish in the bottom of the pros overall standings, you will be relegated to the Challenge League. Of course, the level of play there is high. But you'll get a lot of nasty comments in the Discord chat if you are the one to get relegated.
Well, if the Thugs have another season like they did their last season, and that was their worst season ever, they will be in the Challenge League next season. I'm putting that out there now. It was the worst season they've had yet.
Yeah, actually, it was a worse. It was like talking the teams we have. It was a pretty bad season for Chaos in general, right?
Oh yes, I mean as we went in tonight's game, we've got probably the most famous Chaos team in the MML out there, the Bill Cowher Power Hour. Not had the best season last season. They lost some good players, and some of the results you'd expected to go their way didn't go their way.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to play Shots after he lost 2 Claw players, I think, in the game before. I play Undead in the pros, and I mean, I had a much easier game and won, mostly because of that, I would say, and my regens worked out great for that game too. But I mean, he had some really, really good players that died in his team during the season.
Yeah, we saw last season. I think we saw the Orcs actually making a big impact, but also Elf teams. We got 2 Wood Elf teams in the semifinals. We got Dark Elves in the. We got High Elves in the playoffs. Do you guys think this season with a new race coming in will change the structure of the league a bit in regards to race balance?
In the pros, we have 1 Necro team, I believe, and I mean that's not too many to make a big impact. I think we need a couple of more Necro teams to make a big impact, but I do believe we have some in the Challenge League too. And I think in the Challenge League, we're probably going to see them make an impact. I mean, against those high-armored teams like Orcs and Dwarves and stuff like that. And I mean, I think we're going to see a change in how the more high-armor value teams play against them, because the Claw is actually a very big threat, for example.
Is the Necro team in the pros this season, is that Necrophilia? Is that Rez's team? Yeah, see, I've played...
Rez is playing Wood Elves.
Yeah,
sorry, Wood Elves.
Hez, not Rez.
Rez, it sounds the same. Right. I've played Necro teams in the farm, and they do rely heavily on the flesh golems trying to take people out, and then the werewolves going for those long-distance blitzes. And from what I found out, once you take those guys off the field, that's it. Because they're all like, they might have a goal, they've got the zombies, and that's the key to winning against Necro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean,
we actually might. Oh, sorry.
No, continue.
We actually might see that with I think we have 2 Necro teams actually in the pros. We got Necrophilia, coached by Hez, and don't we also have the Hopeless Necromantics, coached by Serious Jest? I believe we have them as well.
Yeah, that's true.
That's correct. Yeah.
And actually, he had a big problem right before the season started, because he tried to get another farm game in, because he of course came from farm to pro cap, not the regular returning pro cap. So he actually could put a lot of farm games in right before the season. And right before the season, he played another game against me and lost one of his block guard flash golems. I accidentally killed it. It wasn't my intent, but I killed his key player right before it. And I think it's right what Harry is saying. We got those 2 flash golems and the werewolf, and that's 3 players. It's similar to Wood Elf, but Wood Elf linemen still can't pull off Elf BS, as we all know. When those guys are out of a Necro team, there's not much left.
You're very naughty German at times.
And let's not forget,
I have a reputation
werewolves.
for killing in the farm.
Werewolves are strength 3 and they have frenzy. That can create a problem for them sometimes. I mean, it's hard to get some good blitzes on a good coach, because if you get that follow up, it's a big chance you're gonna get the 2 red die instead. So they can be quite hard to use, especially in a team like Necro. They don't really have that many guard pieces. You can build your
And then you see that necro coaches like, as we just said, Serious Jest, not even have the werewolf on there as a key player exposed with his frenzy, also giving them pile on then. And I think that's, as Jest would always say, a Trojan horse. You give a guy like that pile on. That makes him exposed to fouls all the time, and every single person in the league, not only Chase, every single person in the league will foul a werewolf every option they have.
Yeah. Can I just take this opportunity now? There's quite a crowd gathering outside the stadium, outside Yosk Stadium here, YOSC. I'm not sure what that stands for. And I recognise a couple of the faces out here. A couple of the coaches are very interested in this game right now. We've got Don Eagle, the Stew 176, Roy 033, the Girdlayer. They're all crowding around here. They're all eager to see some blood.
I think that's actually a telltale sign that it's been far too long. This week without an MML Pro season was too long for us, and all of us just kept waiting for tonight to happen. And it's nice that we have a nice season opener like this.
Yeah, and the Twitch chat is calling for me to show the team on Twitch, and I've done that with Bill Cowher's Power Hour right now. So do you want to say something about them, Lou? I do believe you have looked up some stats and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not at them right now, but I think I know a couple of players from the top of my head. You got those 2 Chaos Warriors. There's that pairing, Knob Creek and Maker's Mark. Those 2 in combination, both coming in there with the tail and the tackle, those are horrible for dodge pieces. Whenever those guys show up, there's no running away from them. That's really tough if you get held up by those 2 guys at the line.
Can I just add there? Sorry for interrupting. I've been I do a lot of work with Marshot's post-season, scouting these players. I've took a lot of players off them into my pro team over the years, and you might want to notice there on one of his signings he's brought in from his farm team. He's a Chaos Warrior, Irish Car Bomb. He possesses block skill, mighty blow, claw, guard, and pile on. I think he is going to be the one to watch this season.
Exactly. That's a tough one. He's going to drop in like an Irish car bomb after the work Maker's Mark and Knob Creek do at the line, or with those dodge players. He's coming in from behind and just do the final blow, pile on with his claw. Nasty stuff there. But also on the other hand, having such a brutal 4-pack there on the line, or 5-pack if you count Bill Ramanonkowski in as well. You, on the other hand, get your backfield, your runners, your rushers, your passers with Odell Beckham Jr. there, and one of the most interesting players in the league, in at least in my point of view, is Stolic Naya, a leap beastman. I'm not sure if I've seen that on other teams, but a leap beastman is, I think, something pretty unique here.
Yeah, I mean that's just a very fun player, and I know that Shots just plays him because he's fun. I mean, if he skills that player up a bit, I mean, he can be an amazing sport rep or cage diver. So that's going to be an interesting player to watch in the season, I think, because he's not that far away from a new level.
In a speech at last year's GBAT Awards.
I mean, we've seen that on a couple of teams actually, that they built their own war dancer. Basically, we've seen it on Dark Elf teams, we've seen it on High Elf teams. Everybody wants a war dancer, which of course is understandable because it's the greatest, most interesting, and most pretty piece in the entire game. Wouldn't you agree, Harry?
Definitely. I mean, I get hard on for any Chaos team. I love my Chaos teams. There's not one player on that team that I would not put into my team. Not that I can afford them, because I've got no money in the pot. But again, I think you've already mentioned Ram Chancellor. He's a big loss at the moment. He's out there with a fractured leg. As well as a fractured leg, he's also got a smashed knee. So could it be end of career? Might we see another Conor McGregor this season?
That's a good question. I mean, maybe during the game we'll see about it. Maybe you can catch him on the sidelines. Maybe he'll be around Shots' bench there, and maybe you can catch him for a quick checkup and see how he expects the season to go.
I hope so. I mean, I am actually quite fluent in GOAT.
We actually have a quote from Coach Shots here before the game. The Yobz are a scary team. It's going to be a game of numbers. We have a chance to get a win if we can get an early number advantage. The player count stays even. It's going to turn into a street fight with blocks going well above 100. And if we get down in numbers, we'll make it for a long game. If Nuffle is on our side, we'll walk out to this one with 3 points. Thanks for taking the time to interview me. Here, have a rabbit. Coach more shots.
I think we'll get to Shots' Year of the Rabbit later on, but maybe we can take this opportunity, since he says what a tough team the Yobz are, to look at the Yobz roster there.
Yeah, I'm going to bring them up here.
Speaking of the Yobz roster, I'm actually stood outside the Yobz locker room now at the Yosk Stadium with Coach South himself, and I've asked him what he feels for the game, and he's actually expecting some KOs and injuries this game, but he's not telling us on which team those injuries and KOs will be.
He's a secretive coach. I think we've all experienced him like that. He's really secretive.
He's very secretive. He's not one of the coaches that puts himself in the media much. He's not out there, in the press talking to, and we don't hear a lot of stories from the Yobz, which maybe isn't a good thing. Maybe that's the way he likes to play, keep all his cards close to his chest.
It could be also.
Look at those cars.
I also asked for a quote from South there, and I mean, he said this. The Yobz, I would like to say how glad they are to be part of the MML and looking forward to this first match. I say like to say, because in fact when I asked them if they had anything to say at all, I got was "We bash Goatman, tail's good for holding shorts up." So it might be that getting stories from these guys are quite hard, actually.
And I mean, they need to have something to hold their shorts up there. I think their old suspenders might be a bit too small now. Look at those black orcs there. Do you have them up on your Twitch right now?
I'm looking at the two Black Orcs now, Badrook, Eat Skulls, and Gorfang, Goog, Calf. Now, a good friend of mine who coaches the Leaping Lizards, I made some wild accusations earlier on this season that there might be some foul play going on, some performance-enhancing drugs, which I've now withdrawn that statement. I think I was in a bad place that time. Now I had some poorly goats to look after. All I'm saying is that those three beastmen, those three Saurai at the Leaping Lizards, and these two Black Orcs in the Yobz team do not take performance-enhancing drugs. They take their vitamins every day, every week, before and after the match, which are nicely and very kindly supplied by Goblin Gambling. Thank you.
And I do believe once these one of these Black Orcs were hitting the weights very hard and got to that buff strength size, I mean, I think that Coach South here just said, like, yeah, I'm going to fire the troll. I mean, I don't need trolls anymore. I have very strong Black Orcs, he said. And here's the funny thing, because he actually has a Goblin in this team, Nibeb. But he keeps forgetting that he has this Goblin in his team. I mean, he's been forgotten under the stand quite a few times and hasn't even been on the pitch. And I even spoke to South, and he's like, I don't have a Goblin in my team. So that guy is keep getting forgotten, and he's lost his best friend, the troll here, or friend. I mean, he's tried to eat him a few times, but yeah, it's a hard time for this Goblin in this Orc team, especially with the strong Black Orcs and everything.
The Bank of Outdoor. It's said there is no safer place.
I think another one to take note of on the Yobz team who's caught my eye is the thrower, Morost. He's got every skill that you'd expect of a thrower. I think he's a valuable member of that team. He's one of the strongest links, I think. And I think we might see some ball skills from him to rock the blitzer. If you check him out under your spotlight right now, he's a little bit more agile than your average Orc. I think we might see a bit passing play and some nice breakaways from him.
It's, I mean, the thrower, you bring him up, he's for sure a good and decent thrower. But on the other hand, he doesn't throw that much. Looking at the last season's stats, he only threw 28 yards over the entire season. That's not a whole lot for a skilled thrower like this. And this is, I think, if you're a good and decent player, you come to practice every week, you do your job, you're a solid guy, but the coach will ignore you then at some point. The coach is waiting the entire career for something extreme standing out, for him overperforming in practice, and he never did that. He never got those stat ups, and I think that's why Coach South might be ignoring him a bit.
Yeah, and we also have another interesting thing here. We have two AV10 guys in this team, and that's not really going to matter that much in this game. There's so many claw pieces in play and mighty blow pieces. I mean, it's just gonna that AV10 is a bit bloated in this game actually.
There's
Tell
one
you
thing
what, fellas, I'm just gonna leave you to co-announce now. I'm actually gonna make my way into the stadium now. I'm going to try and get down their pitch side. I do believe they're offering free rocks to all spectators in this game. It's a hyped up crowd. It's full to capacity. They want blood. They want death. It's going to be a good one. I'll speak to you soon, fellas.
Best of luck.
Yeah, like speaking of that, the free supply of rocks, I think that's also brought out to the crowd by our sponsor here, Goblin Gambling, who didn't only supply some vitamins, but apparently also rocks. There's been a lot of rumor going on around Goblin Gambling this season. Also in the neighbor conference of the SCC, DVC, in our WAC WFC, you got 3 mirror games this season. That's something to look out for over the next days. Yeah. You got Wood Elves facing Wood Elves, Chaos facing Chaos, and Lizards facing Lizards.
Yeah, that's insane.
I don't know what the odds are for that. But I think Goblin Gambling might be taking over the league here, and we just don't notice it apparently.
Yep. I mean, it's going to be interesting because, I mean, we saw some thrown rocks deciding some things early in the last season. I do believe that Res lost one of his star players in the first or second game to a thrown rock, his best skilled up ghoul, and he got killed by a thrown rock in the first kickoff event or something. And I mean, the rocks have been nasty the last season, and see if this season is going to show anything of the same. Because, I mean, as you said, there's been rumors of free rocks being handed out, so let's see what happens.
I mean, it's something you also should think about. We don't see that many stadium enhancement in the league, but I think people are hesitating. They don't know what to build in their stadium. Looking at these two teams who are playing tonight, they both know what they want there. They both actually play on Astrogranite. They only want to see blood on the pitch, and that's it. They don't need grass. They just need blood and black solid rock there.
Yep. It's gonna be a very deadly game if these players try to go for it. It's gonna hurt them.
What's interesting, I mean, looking at the teams, we just looked at them. The Power Hour, they have 5 Mighty Blow pieces. Yate Yobz only 3. Power Hour, on the other hand, also have a lot of Claw. So you would think they are the better kill team, but actually they're not. Their kill rate says something different. Bill Cowher, Power Hour, they have a kill rate of 8 killed players, lost 1. On the other hand, Yate Yobz killed 12 players over the course of their career. 12 players in total killed by the Yate Yobz. They haven't lost a single player. At least he hasn't been killed by an opponent. So we're looking at a serious kill team here.
Yeah, we are. I'm just gonna head out before this game begins to grab something to drink, and I'll be right back in 1 minute.
Okay, in that case, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the records of those teams. I mean, both have been in the league quite a bit. Standing out here is More Shots, actually, who has a very, very, very good records against Orcs. Out of the 7 games he played against Orcs, he won 7, had 1 draw and lost 1 game against the Orcs. He'd never played Yate Yobz before, but he's a very experienced coach against Orc teams. On the other hand, Coach South with his Yate Yobz, as we probably know, they're not in the playoffs that often. They actually don't have a positive record in the MML, but against Chaos, they are also on the upper hand. They have 3 wins against Chaos, 2 draws, and only 1 loss. So both are playing against their favorite opponents, basically here.
Yeah, that's always interesting, of course.
I think we got Coach more Shots here on his way to the stadium, joining us in the press room here. Shots, can we get a quick word from you?
Yeah. We'll have to hurry up. I got to get to the sidelines on that. I'm just setting up the media access to kick it through over to my Twitch channel too for loading to YouTube. So.
Okay, are you scared? Are you scared of this kill team Yate Yobz 2.3? They have a kill rate of 12-0. Do you think your players can hold up against this?
To join Skink's fitness club,
I don't see why not.
all
I
you need
mean,
to do is sign
it's
a
just your
500-year
average orc
contract.
team that
forfeit
that
a
has
payment,
massive
don't
amounts of
worry.
armor and
We'll
is a
only
little
sacrifice you to Sergeant.
muscled up. I mean, I've seen worse. I've played against the Wrecking Crew and the Titans, so I think we'll fare just all right in this one. As long as we can keep the numbers fairly even, we'll have a chance.
Yeah, I actually just said it. What a great record you have against Orcs. You won 5 games, had 1 draw, and only 1 loss. Why do you like playing Orcs so much?
We just we can keep them in front of us for the most part. They're a lot like dwarves. They don't have massive amounts of movements, except for a few star players that sometimes have that extra movement. I know Yates has 1 player that has a little bit extra movement, but it's not in the realm of a gore bag or something like that. So I think we'll be able to kind of keep them under control and hopefully maybe get a 2-1 grind or maybe even score a couple extra touchdowns for the fans.
Oh, you sound fairly confident there.
Well, I've scouted out as best as I could. Looks like they're calling me down to the sidelines. I'm gonna mute you guys and then and get my end of the Twitch up so we can get started.
Okay,
very good.
Thanks for the quick interview.
Yep, catch you guys later.
Best of luck. Okay, so we are just minutes away here from the season opening of Season 6 in the MML. If you just joined us, this is the MML, and you are gonna see a good game here today. We have 2 excellent coaches that's gonna face off, and it's gonna be a very nice opening to the Season 6 in the MML Pros.
If your idea of Blood Bowl is just massive guys smashing into each other, hitting until the blood floods, then it's going to be a good game, I think. If you're into the beauty of the game, like Wood Elf coaches like me are, I'm not sure what we're going to see here. We might see some lucky passes, but I don't have faith in those players being able to handle the ball. They might be able to handle the other players' balls, but not the ball that this game is about, in my point of view.
Yeah, handling other players' balls is something that could end badly in a game like this when there's so many aggressive players.
With a aggressive point there, I think that's what we're going to see from Yate Yobz probably. I don't think their kill rate is coming from their skills maybe, but more from their tactics. I'm curious about how many fouls we're going to see in this game also.
Yeah, and I'm heading over to Cabal now to see if we can find the game. I don't know if it has started, so let's see.
I don't see it yet. I mean, I think that's what it might be. I think Coach Shots will trust in his player's ability with his mighty block claw pieces, who can do the work, who can take out players. I think Coach South with his Yate Yobz will do a slightly different tactic. Will probably go to knock them down early and try to keep them down with fouls, probably.
Yeah, that's probably true, yeah. And Coach Stew here in the chat says, I don't suggest to hold balls when you have claws, and yeah, I have to agree with that one. That's a very, very good advice right there.
I don't know if that's on the injury table, though. Is there anything like that?
Could be added. You never know. Actually, there was a kind of newspaper thing on the tabletop that a snow pitch is getting added to the tabletop. It might be interesting to see if we get other stadium enhancements with the release of the new tabletop game, like a snow stadium or something.
It's on Cabal. It's on Cabal.
It's on. It's on. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this show on the road.
While we load up, is Coach Harry Warthog maybe on the sideline? Is the crowd firing up already? Is he there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's a lot of shouting in the background. Where are you?
This crowd is electric. I think the crowd are fighting with each other. I think we're going to see more injuries in the crowd than there's going to be on the pitch. This is going to be a big one. I'm right here now, scraping some blood off the Astrogranite outside the pitch now. Both teams are facing off against each other. I'm scared, and I'm not even on the pitch.
That sounds amazing.
I'm scared about it. I don't know if I really want to call this game. I think this is not my game. This is something very different. I feel highly uncomfortable in the stadium.
And here we see the nice Astrogranite, and it looks like I don't know what the inducements we have had here. Doesn't seem to be any wizards at the moment, so.
I don't see any wizards down here. I don't think they've managed to smuggle any in. I think, if anything, they might have just took a bit of extra training. I'm not too sure right now.
You don't see any nice babes or anything down there?
Oh, there's some nice babes in the crowd. There's some nice-looking witch elves down here. I might interview them in a bit, or I might just get the phone numbers. Who knows?
I mean, we actually had a TV difference of 100 before the game, and a bit of cash on both sides actually. So I think there might be something coming up. We'll see about that later.
It looks like the Yobz are defending here, and the Bill Cowher's Power Hour here is setting up for the offensive drive here.
I'm actually stood next to Coach Don Eagle down here, who's got a front row seat, and he's actually mentioned that the Twitch feed that's gone out is actually still advertised as pre-game. Perhaps we need to change it to the actual game now.
Oh, okay, but that's just a name. I think we can still. Can you change that, Fnord?
I already changed it.
Good one.
Now it's MML Season 6 first pro game, because I didn't really want to type out both coaches' teams' name at the moment.
Nice one. Okay, so we see a typical Chaos lineup, all the Chaos runners in the middle, trying to get it rolling. And here we go, there's the kickoff. Our weather stays nice, and the ball gets kicked out of bounds. So Coach South gets an early advantage, handing it to one of his players. I don't know who he decides yet. It is gonna be Odell Backram Jr. here. Oh, sorry, it's good to Coach Shots, of course. Odell Backram Jr. with the ball, lining up behind the wall of Chaos Warriors for now.
Yeah, and these Chaos Warriors look nasty. I mean, they are so many high-skilled, high-level Chaos Warriors in this team. And we begin with an armor break, and that's a KO. That is a huge first hit for Shots there.
Taking out one of those Black Orcs, probably not one of those Black Orcs he wanted to take out. It's not one of those chemically enhanced.
Still the guard piece in the middle.
Can I just interject there, Lou? No players in the MML are chemically advanced or take Hansen drugs. They all take the vitamins, as endorsed by Goblin Gambling.
You're next to Coach Don Eagle there, right?
Yeah, he's down here. We're just having this discussion now.
Okay, and those two orcs hold up.
And
Do
we
they
see
hold
a
up
pylon.
against the pylon?
Yeah.
So Coach Shots decides he wants to keep a Bedrock on the ground for at least another turn there.
Yeah, that's a very interesting decision there to pile on, even if he didn't get the stun on the hit there. It's gonna be interesting to see how he protects that player now from being fouled, because that is a high-level player and a very big threat in this game.
Exactly, and that's what I think. As I said earlier, I suspect Coach South to send his guys out to do the nasty work there. We might even see the Goblin having a certain role in this game. I mean, you mentioned him earlier, that he's a bit overlooked on this team, missing his friend the Troll, but he might have a new task here.
Yeah, he might. I mean, that Goblin, I've seen him in other games, and he's just too funny. I mean, he's just running around there, being cute and cuddly. He's probably the mascot of this team, even if he keeps forgetting him.
Okay, I mean the Chaos team here, coached by More Shots, plays it a bit conservative. I think they just threw in the few blocks at the line, protect their ball carrier, and build up a bit wider cage.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see here because both these teams are very bashy. So I mean, it's going to be a bloodbath, I think, at some point in this game. And of course, the first hit there was very important, I think, to take out that guard. Guard piece is always nice to get guard pieces off the pitch. And that leaves only one, I believe, one more guard piece in the Yobz, right?
They have 2 guard pieces total, yeah, so 1 out means there's only 1 left.
That's a huge advantage for shots there, with having 4, I think. Or 5
that's,
even.
5 total. 5
total, yeah.
I think that's actually interesting because it seems like Coach South really trusts his strength 5 guys there to do all the to power other teams down, but with a powerful team like Bill Cowher Power Hour, you don't get it so easy.
No, it's gonna be interesting to see what we get here.
I might add, guys, I've just been looking at the crowd here. More Shots seems to have an extra number of beastmen surrounded him, and I've asked a Chaos Boy who stood next to me what's been going on. He says they're there for his own protection because I don't know if you're aware, but More Shots has recently been sprung from Alcatraz prison. Stuff and Junk, one of our fellow coaches, actually helped him out. Apparently there was a Skaven rescue team, seek and destroy, went in there and broke him free, so they're just providing that a bit of extra backup for him in case the Orcs try and snatch him back right now.
What was that, Jump?
What, Bob?
That is very interesting, and it's always good to have these fun facts about these teams, because of course the MML is more, it's not only about the games. There's so many articles and stories about every team and every player, so it's always very interesting to see and to listen to these ones, especially in mid-game.
I mean, right now, as of today, there's just so many new stories on the homepage. Every team is getting fired up for the season, so after this game, if you don't have anything to do, go over there to mmlpro.com and check out those stories, the articles, our new league structure. There's a lot going on today.
Seeing shots here, he's caging up a bit. He got that 1 block powed in that was a bit important for him, and now he's moving to blitz another guy here.
But it's just pushing. I'm not sure if he's happy with that result. He just pushed him back a little. Maybe he wanted to open up that side a little bit for the next turns, but he didn't get that blitzer down.
It leaves the Orcs with 3 possible blocks here in this turn, and
yeah.
The Twitch chat here is agreeing with that it's going to be a numbers game, and I agree with that. And I mean, it's going to be interesting to see who gets that number advantage early in the game. Because
so the 2 guy didn't work. The 1 guy works here.
The second time, yeah.
One of our strength 5 Orcs is down again. So they're both down right now, so they are not becoming a threat for Shots' team this turn.
Yeah, and Shots hasn't really moved at all right now. He's just staying back there. He's just bashing them back because he knows if he moves up, he might take a bit more bashing, and he is not comfortable doing this right now, I think.
Yeah, I think he's hoping that the claws will come into effect at some point. I mean, he has an entire half to score basically. I think if the half ends 1-0 for Shots, he's the happiest man in the world right now. You don't need more than that. Maybe take out 2-3 players, and then it's a perfect half for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because then you can advance up the pitch without too much threat to your players. You can get two guys on the pieces that are left, and I mean, if you can get one of these strength 5 black orcs off the pitch, he's in a great position.
I'm gonna run out real quick and get a fresh Bloodweiser there. I'll be right back.
Canards, I'm just walking down the Yates dugout here, just having a quick inspection on Grubnash Bruzan, the Black Orc. He's still KO'd, he's still not showing no sign of waking up right now. He looks as though he's having a nice dream because he looks as though he's chasing rabbits. They're trying everything to revive him right now. I think they're going to find a pair of Witch Elves underwear to try and wave in front of him to see if the smell brings him round. I'll update you if we get anywhere with that.
That's perfect, thank you for that. And we're seeing the blitz here from Badruk, Eat Skulls, and he brings down the loner. And it looks like we're gonna see another block here on the Irish Car Bomb. One of these level 6 KS Warriors. They are amazing players, these KS Warriors in this team.
Yeah, Irish Car Bomb, we focused on him a bit before the game. He's a new addition to Shots' team here, and he's going to be one of those players who decides how the season is going to go for his team now. Last season didn't go that well for him. I think he was pretty disappointed with how his team performed, but we'll see how the new season will treat him.
Yeah, we saw what we used to call a vanity reroll being used there. The results were a Scald and a both down, and he was not happy with that, so he used a reroll to get that guy down on the ground.
They're gathering around that lone player, like halflings round a
And his claw pieces, they just don't work. Like, the claw doesn't come in effect. You can't crack that orcish armor.
Yeah, and that is of course very frustrating for Coach Shots here. I mean, he's putting a lot of weight on those claw pieces. And here we have another armor break.
There we go.
And that's an injury. That is an injury.
Oh, he breaks his
Oh my
jaw.
God.
That's a miss next game.
This isn't good, guys. I don't know if you already knew, but that player there who's just been taken off for the Yobz, the Black Orc player, Gruber Breakhand, already playing with a broken neck. I don't know if you can see the neck support he's currently wearing. It's made from stuffed war dancer intestine trying to support his head, and now his jaw has just come off. This isn't good.
No, it is not good for for the poor guy now. He's
That's
he's
what
gonna
happens
be out.
to you when you have when you have War Dancer on you. It will come back to haunt you. You think you're safe, but you're never safe when you get War Dancer around you. So don't try to protect yourself with the War Dancer intestines.
And where is the blitz gonna come from?
It already went.
Oh yeah, that's true. I missed that one.
Okay, so we're talking numbers. We said it would be a numbers game. Right now, Coach Shots managed to be up by 2. Is that enough? Getting out of turn 3, taking out 2 guys. I think it is, right?
Against the Orcs, I think that's an amazing result. Even if you have copies, I mean, it's still the result you're looking for. And I think if the next turn goes well for Shots here, we're gonna see him advancing a bit more up the pitch.
Oh, and Coach South isn't happy with his rolls there.
No, same result as last time. And yeah.
I mean, you see those 3 guys there, trying to crack open that side of the cage, trying to get a bit in to push players out of the way. I mean, I think he would even been happy with a push on the first block there, but he didn't even manage to push it to that Black Orc's direction. So now the Black Orc decides to take matters into his own hands and knocks down the Beastmen. But the way to the ball carrier is still blocked by 2 Beastmen on the ground.
Yeah. There's no real options here to get in there right now with the guard pieces and everything. There's not too much you can do at this point. You need to... Actually, I have no idea what I would do as a orc coach because I'm a horrible orc coach. So I wouldn't even know where to begin to break this one down.
I mean, you could see that he tried over there to his left-hand side to crack open that one corner of the cage, which didn't work so well 2 turns in a row. So I think that's the problem there.
And the problem here too, I mean, the guard is one problem and the claw is another. I mean, you can put your guys next to these Chaos players, but you're gonna be hit by mighty blow claw pieces back. And I mean, how many hits like that can you take?
Yeah, and even like you see it, right now we don't have lineman or goblin in the dugout. There's 2 black orcs. You know, he took out 2 black orcs.
I think he's focusing. Yeah, he's focusing on those bigger guys, those stronger guys, and I think he's hoping to get one of these the last 2 black orcs off the pitch here too.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look. Yeah, we might see some advancement up the pitch here. We might. They have moved their players a bit to one side.
Yeah,
so
and that opens the other side.
Have you tried
Exactly.
Coach Yobz tried to get in there 2 turns ago with that blitz, and it failed. I think now he's trying to start what he tries to finish what he started there.
Yeah, and he's hoping that this cage is gonna hold strong here, and we must see a blitz here from the claw. Mighty blow case where Knob Creek coming in to take out that strength 5 black orc, I think.
Yeah.
And here's the problem with playing orcs. I mean, they have a very hard time getting over there now. They don't have those fast players, so they don't really need to cage up in the traditional way here. They can just create some kind of screen.
Exactly, and some of the orcs you see. Flaplop, Moros the thrower, Rock the other blitzer there, the Black Orc Badrock, all of them won't be a factor there to crack open that cage. The cage can just progress on without them being even close to hitting anyone there.
And the block is a successful one, and he chooses to follow up.
I don't know if you 2 guys can hear this. The crowd is going ballistic here. The Orc crowd are going ballistic. They're throwing seats, they're throwing goblins, they're throwing anything they can find. They're not happy the way this game is going. With 2 of their Black Orcs already out injured. Well, 1 injured, 1 knocked out. I'm going to try and get up to the Chaos side. It looks a bit more safer over there.
Be safe out there.
Oh, maybe the Chaos will get agitated as well, because the first Beastman, he's a new addition to the team. He probably will never play for them again, but he's with them for today. The Tant Mulgar, a Beastman who just joined them for this game, is knocked out.
Yeah, and I have no idea where they found that guy. Is he a fan? Has he played in some junior league or some farm team for this one? I have no idea. I've never seen him before, and as you say, we're never gonna see him again. This is his one-time chance at glory, I think.
And he failed.
Yep. He might be back later, we never know. I mean, he took quite a big hit there, but he might be back later.
Okay. So the orcs are trying to move down the field a bit to hold off the progression. The blitz of the jumping up Black Orc there is not that successful. He's just pushing the Chaos Warrior back a little, holding 2 Chaos players up, but I'm not sure if that's enough to really stop this cage from moving.
No, it might not be, but I must say, I mean, South must be quite disappointed with his Orcs' performance in the blocking department in this game. It hasn't really been stellar in any way.
More the merrier.
Just as I was on my way around, I passed Coach Thunden near the end zone. Another Orc coach, respected Orc coach up there. His comment was the Yobz are actually letting the Chaos team take the touchdown while they pound on the Beastmen. It's a sensible idea, he reckons.
Yeah, and it would be if these orcs could block, but they just today they can't. There seem to be they'd be a bit
so
off
many
today.
Pushes.
Yeah.
So many both downs. I don't know, like, I think we should ask Don Eagle again about how those vitamins are distributed by Goblin Gambling, because it doesn't work that well for them this week. Maybe there was something wrong.
Oh,
and
we
we
have
see
a pylon.
pile on a knocked out guy. He was being carried off the pitch to the knockout booth, but our Chaos Warrior Irish Carbomb decided to pile on and woken him up a bit with that.
Yeah, that was interesting. Actually have never seen that before, I think.
So he was already knocked out. He was being carried out. He decided to throw another punch on him and woke him up with it. So the Apo said, wait a minute, I think we don't need to take him off the pitch right now.
Yeah, and I mean, you could see these people, I mean, these goblins or whatever, coming in there to take that player off the pitch, and they were just pushed away. And I mean, the Irish Carbomb wouldn't have it. He just jumped on him and, yeah, woke him up. And he's still on the pitch now.
I think the underneath rock there, I think there's a smashed goblin there. I'm not sure if I see it correctly, but I think it's smashed goblin. So one of those assistant apothecaries, I think he got smashed underneath. We might see that at halftime. We might need to get somebody in there to clean that up.
Yeah, I mean, those fireballs are bad enough when they hit the pitch. There's a lot of cleaning going on, and I mean, polishing the Astro Granite after that. But I mean, a dead goblin that's just been smashed under Nork, that's just nasty. It's gonna take some time to clean up. But it's a regular day in
That's why you
Black
have Astro Granite, you know, like, grass is really tough to clean. Here you just throw a few buckets of War Dancer blood over it, and then it's all good. Okay, so this is a really tight cage now.
Yeah, but they have contact, but not with they can't really get in there, but they at least have contact with one part of the cage here.
And the remaining guard piece, what's the remaining guard piece?
It's standing there next,
that's holding the contact, which is not ideal.
No.
Or suboptimal, as some coaches might say.
Let's see what the Orcs can do here. Are we gonna see them move up to foul, or are we gonna see them to try some some pillar formation here to try to stop them from advancing? They don't really have the numbers to put players everywhere anymore. It's gonna be a bit hard for them to create a good defense, because if they move too many guys away, we might see an opening in some other place.
As you said earlier, Nebep there, the goblin, he looks to be running around aimlessly on the pitch there. Is he supposed to play the safety here? Like, there's a fully equipped Chaos Cage rolling up to him, and he's supposed to play safety there?
I actually have no idea. He might be scared, or it might be that he's just looking for that failed something with the ball, you know, and he's just there to try to pick it up after that happens. It's going to be interesting to see when he actually takes part of this game.
Here comes the blitz.
And it's another unsuccessful blitz, and we see another vanity reroll being used.
I mean, he had a couple of rerolls, so doesn't hurt him that much.
Yeah, the job started with 4, but yeah, it's been bad.
It's just frustrating.
I think the crowd down here are really going in support of the Yobz here. I'm studying now next to Coach Girdley, who's also shouting, "Kill all the beastmen." I've yet to find a Chaos fan out there. If there's any Chaos fans down here at pitchside, give us a shout and I'll come up and have a chat with you.
Let's see. Once again, one of these claw players have contact. That's of course amazing for shots here. We have another successful block from the Chaos here, but no armor break this time.
No, the Orc armor holds up. I mean, they line up there and they're building up 2 columns, and they still think they have a shot holding up that Chaos Cage here. And Coach Shots only has 3 turns. That's it. He
Yeah.
has 3 turns to go down the field.
It's going to be interesting to see what he does this turn, because it's going to be a bit deciding how this last 2 turns after this one is going to play out. Are we going to see an advancement up the pitch here? They still have the blitz.
I think so. I think so. No, he's definitely advancing. So the cage is moving entirely, as you can see right now. And then he will throw in a blitz towards
the strip baller, I think.
Flab up, yeah. Oh, that's interesting. So he goes both sides around the cage, around the Orc defense there.
That is very interesting.
That's an interesting decision there. And he spreads out the cage, so he wants to cage in those remaining Orc defenders apparently. You see what he's doing there?
Yeah, it's very interesting this, because that means that it's going to be hard to get out from there. But where's the blitz going to come from?
I mean, there's still the Beastman back there. There's still Jack Daniels, who has a pretty good punch. I mean, Steven Gotkowski there. He can do some damage once he gets somebody down, and that's what we're seeing right now.
Yeah. But we don't see any follow-up. Are we going to see him actually move in and complete this kind of, I mean, stopping them from getting to the ball carrier and still stopping them from taking the other side of the pitch?
Or maybe blocking up that pass to the sideline, but he decides to stay there with Odell Backram Jr.
Yep.
To protect him and to play it absolutely safe.
And
but
here we have the opportunity. Yeah, here we have the opportunity of this game, I think.
Yeah, we got 2 players in contact here to the cage. One of them being the remaining guard piece, Grack there. So the front line of the cage is in double contact with our defending Orcs.
Yep.
He'll get an assist now.
And basically, the Yobz are countering here by doing the same thing. They're moving guys in from 2 sides.
Again.
But that's okay. That's okay. But would that be better with
so many skulls?
With the
might have been better
push there?
to knock him down and the follow up, because this still leads a path, and I think that's why Coach Moreshots decided to send his leap beastman Stolinchnaja down that side to open up a path on that side to break out of the cage over there. I mean, now he still has both options, both paths. So
exactly, he's giving himself options.
And that's the thing, being down in numbers, it's hard for South to defend this. If the numbers were equal, he could equally distribute his players on both sides of that cage. But now he has to defend both sides halfway, and that might leave Shots just enough room to go for the touchdown and score. So those 2 players' advantage, or 1 player right now, earlier it was 2, now it's down to 1. That might help him actually. It's a small advantage, but it helps here.
Yeah, we're seeing this guy go down here too, the leaping one, and that leaves only an AG3 marked up beastman there, and they have also made contact with the ball carrier. So it's getting a bit dangerous.
And it's Flab up there. Flab up, who's a good one if you want to have somebody marking up a ball carrier, because he is able to strip the ball from him. Even if he just pushes him away. So even Odell Backram Jr. being a very agile player there, he might lose the ball there next turn if he doesn't get freed up.
Exactly, yeah.
My Bloodweiser is down, and I want to see the last turn with a cold drink in my hand, so I'll be right back.
And the Orcs are moving in heavily here from the top side before, so I mean, it leaves the Chaos to have to deal with that thing. And Flablob is getting blocked away there.
Can I just say the MML does not endorse drinking alcohol. Please drink alcohol responsibly. Thank you.
That's amazing. What are we gonna see here? I think I know what we're gonna see. This is interesting. There's some options here. That I see one, but I'm afraid to even speak about it right now. The crowd has gone a bit quiet, I think. There's a big anticipation here in the air.
Yeah, I think that's the game. They've tied themselves out now. They're all enjoying the McMurtys. I'm hoping that some of the McMurtys from the crew final haven't slipped into the game, because as I mentioned before about Coach Moorshot's getting sprung from Alcatraz, it was actually because of some tainted McMurtys burgers, which made the Blackhawks ill, and that's how he actually escaped. Well, part of the thing before the Seek and Destroy Scave and Recce team freed him. So I'd stay away from the McMurtys right now. And like I said, careful with the blood visor. We can't endorse drinking. Take your vitamins.
Oh,
Wow,
we see a lead here.
Lynchnaja. I was thinking he was sharpening his horns for the blitz, but doesn't blitz Morkney here. He decides to leap over him and actually go for the thrower there, Morost.
Yeah, that was
pushing him away from the cage.
Yeah, before he did that, the Orcs had contact with 4 standing players in their team on the sides of this cage, and now they have contact with 3. It's still a very dangerous situation for the Chaos here. Especially with some of their guard pieces tied up at the higher side of the pitch there, or the lower side, depending on how you look at it.
And Nibeb there, who just at the end of the last turn pushed that Beastman away from him in a very ballsy block against him, now holds up the line of defense there.
Yeah.
So with his friend, maybe the troll being gone, actually gives him opportunity to step up his game and show people what material goblins can be made of here.
Yeah, and of course that goblin is a sidestepping one, and that's just very, very annoying to deal with.
Especially when you want to move past him.
Do you say the troll's a goblin's friend just because he's never eaten him?
Yeah, he's never eaten him, he's always protected him, but also on the other hand he maybe kept him from showing his true potential, and that's what he's doing here right now. Being the last line of defense, being a potential threat, being able to sidestep into a ball carrier's way again and again here if not being knocked down.
Do you think there's any reason why he's never eaten him? Do you think he's got bad personal hygiene or something like that?
It could be it.
He smears himself down with some Beastman dung before the game, just so that he doesn't eat him.
Or maybe he has parasites. That's why he's also so quick to jump up again. You know, maybe it's something up his buttocks.
Parasites is all protein, end of the day.
And are we're gonna see? We try to free up some players here, I guess.
He won't leave him alone anytime soon.
And still only pushes.
That's the thing. What must be really annoying for Coach South, right? You don't expect that from an orc team to just push guys around.
And here's a very important down result. He chooses to follow up anyway.
And that frees up the path for the Blitzer, our strip brawler.
Oh, and we have a down result there.
Stumbles on his way to the ball carrier, but gets up back into it and knocks down Odell Backram Jr. There we are, that's what we've been waiting for. The ball strips out of the hands. Maker's Mark, who we said is a tough guy, but not very good with his hands, can't manage to pick the ball back up. And now here's a really, really tough decision for Coach South. Will he tell either Flab up to attempt a very, very risky move towards the ball? Will he tell Nibeb to run over there and try to grab the ball? No, he decides not to. He decides his defense is set up. It will be really tough for the Chaos to pick up the ball.
Perfect result there on the Goblin.
The Goblin gets knocked down. Nibeb is out for the defense, but still one of the Chaos players needs to pick up the ball and run it to the end zone.
Yeah. In this point in the game, you're hoping to not see any things you have to use a reroll on at this point. So because you're gonna need
Odell Beckham Jr. He's a good guy. He's agile. He's skilled. He's good with his hands. But he decides not to.
Yeah,
the Chaos Warrior Maker's Mark just says, "Wait a minute, Odell Beckham Jr. He's on the ground. It would take him. He can't run to the end zone there. Let me just take care of business here."
Yeah, and he's just throwing his hand up in the air to the crowd, just saying, "Look at us, we got this. If you doubted us, we made a touchdown. We're going strong into the second half."
That was a great last turn by both coaches actually. Like Coach South over the course of a few turns, being able to finally get a blitz on the ball carrier in his turn 8, to finally knock him down, break the ball free. And I mean, we see here the Chaos didn't turn out well for the Orcs, but if they would kept it without touchdowns at halftime, I think they would have a good chance here, scoring, receiving the ball. Now it's going to be tough for them.
Yeah,
guys, I don't know if you're aware, you've still got Grubnash Bruzan still KO'd in the dugout. They've tried waving Elf Witch's underwear under his nose. It's not working. They've reached into the crowd. They found a few female Blackhawks from the Blackhawk female rugby team, and they've took their underwear off and now waving the knickers under that guy's nose in a vain hope he might wake up for the second half.
Yeah, and we see the loner coming back here for Coach Shots for the Power Hour. And it might be that he still can make a mark in MML history here, being back on the pitch again.
Or being one of the 582 players who come back and get carried off the field the very same turn.
Yep, that happens too.
I wonder if the series just actually keeps those stats. People who are only on the pitch for one turn.
And of course the Orcs
it's probably
here
more
are gonna...
than guys with one interception.
Yeah, and the Orcs are going to try to hurt some players here at this at turn 8 here.
Yes. As Thunden said earlier, you want to take out those beastmen. That's the way to win the number game. It's really tough to get out those Chaos Warriors with their strong armor. But the beastmen, with your mighty blow pieces, you actually have a chance taking them out.
And also, I mean, it's less likely that Coach Shots is going to use an Apo on one of the beastmen. So even if you manage to take out one of the level 6 warriors, he's probably going to Apo that guy. And might get him back on the pitch anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Because Shots played with 3 Chaos Warriors for quite a few games last season, and he has said it a couple of times that was one of the deciding factors in some of the games, that had he had that 4th Chaos Warrior, he could have made a difference, and it was quite hard to play with only 3.
Okay, so here comes the kick, and the Yate Yobz get a little advantage here, being able to move a bit, just get a little tiny head start. They decide not to. Yeah, it's a touchback. But they also had the quick move, the quick snap.
Yep.
And they decided not to take it.
I guess that they were feeling that the players were in a good position. I mean, those Chaos Warriors are set up quite nicely to counter a quick snap too, so he couldn't really move his guys further up because they would be hitting guard pieces. And only a stun. But of course,
Kelsey, that's the guy you want to take out?
Exactly, yeah. And he was placed on the line of scrimmage, which says something about how good this Chaos team is when you put a guy like that on the line of scrimmage. And still only a stun.
For our loner. At least he managed to stay on the pitch. He's face down, but he's still on the pitch.
Yeah.
We didn't expect that.
Will the big S6W1 managed to lay out an
And
opponent
it seems like South have been speaking to these orcs at that touchdown, because these orcs
That's a nice picture, right? That's a nice picture. 4 Chaos Warriors framing those 3 stunned beastmen. Looks like a double sandwich here.
Yeah. Do you think... I'm a bit surprised that the Goblin is that far back. I was thinking that we're gonna see a foul here in turn 8.
Actually, that's what we expected, right? But
yeah,
it doesn't look like he's too eager to do that.
He didn't even follow up there, so we're not gonna see a foul.
No, he's focusing on the rest of his season. I'm still hoping for an agility up on his throw Morris there, giving him some glory and giving him 2 extra yards in passing.
Yeah. And we have halftime. And he is still down. No, he's coming back now. Good for Yobz here.
So those stinky knickers actually work there, bringing that all back round. They always carry a pair of female Black Hawk knickers in the back pocket.
That's scary that this worked.
Must drive the coach crazy, as his team has just kicked it away.
Let's see.
So even though those 3 beastmen ended up face down, Coach Morshots is still happy with his defensive lineup. I think we're going to see some changes in the offense for Yate Yobz here. Yep.
And Yobz got one of their knocked out player back, and that's of course very important. That's a guard piece, so that's always very, very nice to have, especially when you're gonna probably slowly move up this cage a bit too.
Yeah. And I mean, we still have an interesting game here. I mean, the Chaos are up 1-0. The Orcs get the ball, get a chance to score. It depends on when they decide to score, when to make the final move. If he's going for the win, if he's going for a draw, if he's going for a win, tries to score quickly, Shots will most likely have a chance to close out this game if anything goes wrong there.
Yeah, and also, I mean, you never know what those kickoffs events is gonna bring. So let's see here. That's a high kick. That's
a high kick.
It's not very game deciding.
Yeah. I think on the podcast episode where all the kickoff events were decided, everybody agreed that this is actually the nicest kickoff event. You get an extra roll on the catch. It's not great, it's not game deciding, you still have to pick it up in most cases, so it's fine.
Yeah, I like that one the most, I think, and also extra rerolls are always nice, especially when they're given to both teams.
Yeah.
And it felt like it was a very long first half there. I mean, it was so much action. It was great plays from both teams, and we're in for exactly the same time here again. We have 8 turns in front of us of pure MML goodness here, and it's going to be amazing to see where this goes.
We expected a lot of blocks being thrown this game, but actually both coaches were very cautious, I think, here. I think at the end of the turns, you didn't want to have too much contact to the other players. It was more like a face-off. Who would move first? Who would try something to break into somewhere, to break free from somewhere, potentially fail. And that's more what we saw. We saw a more conservative approach here.
Yeah, and that might be. I mean, this is a 7-week league in the season, and I mean, you don't want to lose players in the beginning, and especially for the Yobz in this game. I mean, making blocks, making contact, setting up blocks, especially when you're on defense, means that you're gonna put your players next to these claw pieces. And I don't think that South wants to lose his players in the beginning of this season. Because any player you lose in the first game here is going to be lost for the whole season, and that could hurt your team quite a lot.
Oh, here we see an interesting result. Now the blitz worked. Rock actually knocked down Bill Ramkowski here. Bill Ramanowski, sorry. That worked. So that opens up this side a little bit at least.
Yeah, we might see a quick score here.
We still have our blitzer Greg, who actually can cover quite some part of the pitch here. He might be able to have a shot there if Morost here decides to throw.
And Harry, you're down there on the sidelines. What do you see? Where are you? On the shot side or south side here?
Yeah, I'm over here on the shot side with the Chaos contingent, and I'm thinking they are expecting a bit too much from these Chaos Warriors here. I mean, it is the first game of the season. It's Irish Carbon's first game in the pros, but I think what they're expecting a lot from is the old fan favourite Knob Creek, or as a lot of cruel people out there have named him now, Knob Meek. There's a lot of expectations from these guys. They've got a lot of claw, a lot of mighty blow. I think they are wanting some more death and more blood, but they are cautious of Yate's Yobz on this left flank as I look at it now, with a Goblin running up that side. They just don't know what's happened. I think they're expecting another touchdown from the Orcs here, but they want to get one back as well.
Yeah.
Actually, have you managed to talk to Ram Chancellor out there? Ram Chancellor is our player on the Chaos side who is sitting this one out, who got a nasty injury in the last game of the last season. Have you had a chance to talk to him?
Yeah, at half time I went up to see Ram Chancellor. He's sat on the wooden bench here. He's got his a leg up in pot. He's actually suffered a smashed knee on his left leg, and he's actually fractured his right leg. So he's actually got both legs up in pot right now. Legs akimbo. He's got the fans around him. He's got plenty of your female goats around him. He's getting the attention. He's sad to be missing this game now, because obviously he's one of the key players for the Bill Cowher Power Hour. He's hoping to be here next season, but I think he's actually hoping that this season will be his season. He's promised me big things for the next game, and hopefully we'll see what he preaches.
Yeah, and we didn't really say anything about it, but Maker's Mark, he just pushed back Grubnash there. But had we seen a down result, it could have opened up an option for Steven Gutkowski to actually blitz the ball carrier. And that would have been a very interesting, I think, development in this game.
Yeah, but he's not going for it. The blitz is used here by Odell Backram Jr. to really make sure that on this side nothing is happening. Also on this side of the attacking side, we saw Greg, the Orc Blitzer we just talked about, a potential scoring threat. He can cover a lot of ground here, but won't do that for this drive because he was being knocked out.
Yeah, but I mean, if he had taken down Grubnash there, he could have had a blitz on the ball carrier. I was a bit surprised that Shots didn't use a reroll there to get Grubnash down and free up that Beastman for the blitz on the ball carrier.
Yeah, maybe that would have been an interesting choice. But I think he tries to play it a bit more conservative here. He's up 1-0. He can cover that flank. There's not a big chance to move the entire Orc attacking potential here over to the other side. I think he still has to stick to his left flank and see what he can do there.
Yeah, and also, I mean, a tie is not the best result, but at least it's not a loss in the first game of the season. So, I mean, it's probably better to play conservative at turn 10 in the second half.
Exactly, I totally agree with you here.
And also, they have the number advantage of 2 players again because that KO.
Yeah, I think that's why it's the best idea to play it conservatively, and even if there would have been the option, I'm not sure if going for the ball carrier there would have been the best idea, because that opens a hole in your defense and you're down 1 number there. I mean, what are you going to do if you do that blitz there? What are your actions afterwards, you know?
Yeah.
There's still the Goblin there who can pick up the ball and hand it to somebody. Moros might get back up, grab the ball and throw it. I think it was the best decision to not do that.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting to consider it if you're in a desperate situation, but I think Coach Morshots is far away from being in a desperate situation here. I think so far everything worked out for him pretty well. He didn't lose a player yet. His KO came back. He scored in turn 8. I think that's what his game plan was.
Yeah, and at the moment he had contact with at least 2 claw pieces here. Actually, yeah, 2 claw pieces have contact on the works here. So that could prove very devastating next turn if he can get some good blocks in.
You need to be close. So close you can smell your breath and see the dead insects in your teeth.
And there goes one. So there's only one left.
Yeah, I think that was very, very important to make that one. Otherwise, that's a huge threat for your team to do permanent damage here.
And Harry, have you moved over to the Yobz side here, to south side?
Yeah, I'm just currently making my way over now. Just passing the gravestones at the end of the powered hour dugout. Thankfully, no people in there yet. Walking past the cameras and the goalposts. I'll be there shortly.
Let us know when you get there. And that's almost
And those
done.
claws come into effect. And the pike of our orc offense here is on the ground. Rock is down. Roruk is down. Grak is out. I think this drive might be over for the orcs.
It's gonna be hard for them. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's over, but we're gonna see some blocks here. Probably most guys here in the orcs team gonna go down if the blocks go their way. And we're probably gonna see a claw blitz too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, here's the claw blitz as you promised. Fans are going wild. Black Orc is going down.
And that's normal break, and that's an injury.
And the Irish Carbon doesn't need to follow up, doesn't need to pile on.
And that's a movement allowance loss. That's a hard hit, even if it's only movement, and you could consider that's only he's using his apple there.
The apple comes in,
and it's still a movement loss.
Doesn't do the work. This is tough for him. It's not only that he will lose his movement skill there. The problem is also he will be out next game. One of his Black Orcs missing. That's a key piece in his offense. The guard guy who gives the strength 5 Black Orcs maybe the extra advantage over equally strong guys. He's out.
Yeah, and
hi guys, I'm over in the Orc dugout now, and well, it's not a pretty sight. Coach South is going ballistic right now with his apothecary. He's there, he's got 2 orcs holding him, one on each ankle, and he's pulling him straight into the end zone goalposts. The post hit him straight between the legs, changing his religion. It doesn't look pretty. South is fuming.
It's understandable. I think I mean his anger has building up all game here. The blocking dice didn't go his way. His players were just not able to throw proper punches as you would expect from orcs. I mean, what are orcs trained to do if not throwing punches at stupid goats? But
and
next time I resent that comment. I know some very intelligent goats.
And the next game, actually, that the Yobz are going to be facing is the Rats, coached by NTB, and he's probably quite happy with 2 Black Orcs here being not present for the next game.
I think that will actually be a very tough game. I know NTB's Rodentia El Nauseum Skaven team quite well. They are a scary Skaven team, and I think he'll have his work cut out playing them.
Yeah, that's the thing with these games. I mean, every injury that sticks, that's missing next game, it's a very hard hit, because there's no easy games in the pros, and there's no easy games in this play pool.
And with Skaven, you have to cover the entire field basically, because those nasty gutter runners they can score from anywhere, you know, wherever they pick up the ball, they can just zigzag all over the place.
At the same time.
That was a skull, but it turned into a pow.
It's like peeling an onion.
As I said, this Goblin Nibeb wants to step up his game.
And Coach Thunden here is saying that the Titans, they playing those rats first, so...
Oh, we'll see how many of those rats actually face the Yate Yobz. I think
that was implied.
I think that was implied to trim their
yeah.
numbers down quite a bit, yeah. And here we see the Blitzer.
The only advice is beware of the horned rat.
So Flatlop tries to break free here to do a run for scoring, but he gets stopped on his way by Horny
Siragusa, I think.
Horny Siragusa, yeah. He gets stopped by him.
Let's see here.
So this is he thought he still had the chance here to score, making this very ballsy attempt with Flatlop here, but he just got stopped. This Beastman, I think, earned his salary today.
Yeah, and now of course there's so many open chaos players here. They have quite a few options here to get to the ball carrier.
Yeah, I mean it was a desperate attempt here, I think, by Coach South. He had to go it. He had to do it. I mean, he had guys coming towards his ball carrier. There's Maker's Mark marking your guy. You got Odell Beckham Jr. Moving up towards him. You got a couple of more guys waiting in the backfield to just jump in. You have to break out there, and that was the only way.
Pressure's on, Joe. What will they do?
You're seeing dump off here, maybe? No. Shots is very well trained for this situation.
Make a difference.
And here comes the claw hit.
Dump off didn't work. It actually left the ball in quite a good position for shots here.
Yep.
To do something with it. And now it will be really tough to come back for Coach South. And actually, we might not even see another touchdown for more shots, because I think he will try to give his player a different type of glory as well.
Yeah, it could be that we're gonna see a bashing of these last works here as much as possible. I mean, shots were promised in the season of the rabbit here, and I don't know what that means, but this might be the season of the rabbit that we're seeing right now.
And I mean,
where did the batteries go?
Yeah, exactly. That's what Thunder has been asking all day.
I mean, that's a thing you got to consider as well now with the new league structure here. If you have a safe win in your pocket, it might be the wrong choice to show mercy. You know, every team you break is a team that could probably finish behind you. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, also, I mean, this they could get ahead of you later in the season, or I mean, you can face them in the playoffs, maybe. I mean, it's yeah, but Shots doesn't care what we say.
That's a fantastic pass.
That's a very nice pass for a Chaos team. That is just amazing.
Every pass Beastmen do is amazing to me. Like those ugly beasts being able to do one of the nicest moves in the game.
They do a feeling, you know, and some of the goals are very attractive.
You see a double failure there.
You know, in the right light with a bit of makeup and a few good visors, you wouldn't say no.
And what options does the Yobz here have here? They don't really have too many options.
I mean, you have Morkney there, who's a strip baller, who could attempt a blitz, just dodging away from.
That's probably what you're gonna see.
That's I think that's the only chance you have here. I think that's what he's gonna go for. I think Shots took that run because you know he gets the ball down the field if he goes for that run. If he fails there, if Odell Beckham Jr. doesn't do what he does, running down the field and scoring, well, no, not much harm done, because the Orcs' thrower is far on the other side of the pitch, and I don't think Shots seeing a scoring threat here, even if he loses the ball in that position.
Yeah.
Interesting, look, you mentioned Morgney there. He does still have an outstanding bounty on his head, set by myself. I don't care who kills him, but whoever kills him, I will hold a feast in their honour, and I will wear Morgney's head as a hat.
What did he do to you?
He killed one of our star players. Was it Smirnov or was it Picardi? I forget which.
Maybe he's going for the next Chaos Star player here. No,
Yes.
he's not killing him, but he's stunning him at least. And now he has a chance to maybe still go for the ball in this turn. We'll see about that.
I believe it was Picardi he killed.
And here's an interesting thing. I mean, there's 2 Orcs lying down still there. Is Shots gonna stand for that if they stay on the ground, or is he gonna begin to foul these players?
I mean, at the end of this turn, we don't know what's gonna happen.
Nope.
All of these Oaks can still get up. I think the tough question is now, does Morgney go for an attempt to get the ball? He decides not to. That was a tough choice, I think. Doing that little extra movement and try to pick up the ball, then facing that risk that all of your players are still on the ground, if anything goes wrong, or playing it safe for your players, letting all of them get up, to then try to dodge out of a tailed Chaos Warriors tackle zone, just to go back onto the ground. I'm not sure if he did his player a favor there, our Blitzer Rock.
Yeah, and Shots have this position here, as you said before. He doesn't really need to score here. This game is in a good position for him at the moment.
Exactly.
He can just bash away and maybe move up one, this Chaos Warrior, of course, and maybe a Beastman, yeah. Oh, he's going for the ball. 3 players at least. And some defense back there too. The leader piece, which I spoke to Shots about, and he found it quite hard to skill that guy up, because he gave it leader first and then guard, and it just means that he doesn't have block or anything, and he just doesn't get any SPP anymore. Well, my camera just panned out. Wait. Yeah. Now the pushes are coming here.
So close to a world of hurt.
I think if you're Coach South, you think that's a little too late that the Chaos pushes are coming.
Yeah.
He had those pushes on his block rolls the entire first half. Not too happy with it, of course, and it's a little too late for him.
Yeah, and now you have a very difficult situation here. Do you go with the Goblin to try to make an assist for a 1-die, or do you try to dodge in and pick the ball up against the tail? I mean, the tackle. I mean, it's very hard to do anything.
And even if you pick it up, what are your options then? You know, Flatlop and Morris are tied up on the sidelines by Chaos Warriors.
Yep.
I think he's trying to free up the path for those 2. The lineman and the blitzer there on the ground, one of them sets a screen for the other one, basically.
Yep.
They try to grab the ball, and basically a Hail Mary pass to get some chance for a touchdown here.
Can be so
It's very desperate, but that's the only thing you can do, I think.
And still no injuries here. Harry, are you seeing something down at the pitch?
It's the crowd is actually very hushed here on the Orc side. They're trying to let Morgney concentrate and try not to put him off and get the ball. Obviously, he's there marked up by Maker's Mark, a very fearsome Chaos Warrior. He has Nibbleb the Goblin. Oh, just as I was speaking, he comes to life for the ball. It's hard.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's really hard to comment at what's going to happen here.
That's interesting. We see Meebeb going for it.
And the crowd is waking up.
Whoa, Meebeb is dodging out of
green
the...
light.
He's going for some Master Granite.
We've seen this by Iggy. I think it was Iggy, Coach Preach's Goblin there. But Meebeb isn't doing the same. He doesn't manage to complete this pass, but at least gets the ball down the field. That ball is now in Rock's and Browrock's tackle zone, and will be quite tough for Coach Shots.
It would be if the guard piece wasn't there. There's a guard piece there, and there's 2 guard pieces there now. So, and they have an AG4 Beastman in reach, and they have an AG4 Beastman down next to the touchdown line there. So, I can see some options here.
Yeah, but let me make it a little more exciting and a little closer than it actually is.
Fair enough.
Oh, but what's really bad is those 2 orcs, Flabob, our blitzer, and Moros, the thrower, they're in a really bad spot now. Flabob goes into the crowd. Harry, what are they doing with Flabob there?
Well, I'm actually on the other side of the field to them, but I think they're trying to gang probe him. It looks like they've actually debagged him. He's got his green buttocks blazing in the sunshine right now, and they've got some sharpened sticks and some oddly shaped pieces of fruit, and they're trying to insert them into him right now.
So he's fine, right?
Oh yeah, I think he's enjoying it actually.
Keep pushing.
Yeah, this can be a nasty turn for the Orcs next turn.
Exactly. We're seeing 2 potential serves here if Moros gets up. You got Browrock, our lineman, being tied up by 3, 4, 5 beastmen here. We got Morgney being pushed around by Maker's Mark here, but Maker's Mark decides not to follow up to be a potential threat to be served, which I actually can't see. But maybe Maker's Mark wants to wait for his shot for glory here to score once more.
It might be the case, yeah.
Got fists bigger than ham joints.
Oh, and we have an injury here.
And Bill Ramanovsky is out for this game only, though. I think Coach Moreshots will be very, very pleased that he will only miss 3 more turns and will be back healthy and in shape afterwards.
Yep.
I think that's actually a reoccurrence of his old injury. For the record, Bill Romanowski is actually playing with a damaged back as it is. If you look closely when he was on the field, his spine is all curved over like a question mark. So I think that knock there might have jolted it a bit, and it's obviously put him out of action for this game.
No, and the Orcs are not in a desperate position as we said earlier. They're still trying to make something happen here. They push the beastmen around, they knock them down, they injure them, but the last one doesn't want to go down. He managed to push him towards the sideline, but that's not enough to get an actual shot for the ball. We've still got Nibeb here, who might try to get his final shot for glory, but it's again an attempt of desperation here.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, but that was a good turn for the Orcs here.
It's a very good turn for them.
But all the rerolls are gone now, and yeah, he picks up the ball. That's very nice, of course. Might see something if he survives and keeps the ball.
I mean, we said he's a trained sidestepper here. So if he doesn't go down, he can decide what's next.
Exactly.
He actually No, but he decides not to be the one to carry the responsibility, i.e. the ball.
Instead of
He gives
Blocksher
it
has
to
it.
Rock.
Yep.
He gives it to Rock, and Rock is not a sidestepper, but Rock knows how to block away guys who come after him, and knows how to dodge away from punches thrown at him. So it's not sure that he's going down this turn. We'll see what's happening. And this is interesting. We actually still get a ball game here. This is not over.
No, this is not over. That was a very good handoff there. It opens up options, and all of a sudden, I mean, you probably wish that you had moved some more of these players up there.
I know, Jim. I'm watching the
And
same
now
match
the
as
blocking
you.
dice are not working anymore for the Beastmen here.
Yeah, and that means that they might have to try a dodge here with the Chaos Warrior. That's dangerous now with that reroll being used.
Exactly.
But of course he has tail and tackle, so that's,
You want him next to that
you
guy.
want him next there, yeah.
To that dodging AG4 blitzer. Otherwise it's just as simple, don't roll a 1 there. So he decides to go a different route and leap in there
Oh, well, we might see
with our special team player, Solinschneier, who doesn't make that leap. He is not a war dancer. He's just being reminded of that by crushing onto his back. And now the Orcs have their shot for a touchdown. The first block to free up our ball carrier worked, and almost more importantly, Roram Sap is stunned. He won't return for the next turn to make a
Second
blitzing
one
attempt
works.
for the ball carrier.
Yeah.
Let's see. Stephen Golkowski's
KO'd.
knocked out, so he won't go after our ball carrier. That leaves our ball carrier free to score here. We got Knob Creek still there. We got Horny Siragusa there, who could still come after him. But for now, he can run down the field. He could even make it all the way to the end zone now.
Yeah, and I don't know what you're gonna do, but
And he's
he does
running
it.
for it,
He
he's
does
scoring.
it, and that's a tie, and that's some amazing plays there from the Yobz. I mean,
Wow,
seriously,
those two
coming back
turns.
for that, and that was just amazing to see.
Those two turns were insanely good. He didn't give up. I mean, we were both, I think I'm speaking for both of us, convinced that Coach Schatz had this game in his pocket, right?
I mean, I saw some options, but they quickly disappeared, and I was very sure when there's only those two guys there next to the ball that it was done for. But yeah, it really worked out for Yobz here, and I think they're very happy with the tie in this game after quite a hard second half.
Yeah, very good job by Coach South here in the second half. The blocking dice were not as bad for him as they were in the first half, and he got rewarded for his effort to still try to go for this touchdown. I mean, he could have resorted into protecting his players, but he threw it all in there, and it worked.
Yeah, and of course, shots have a chance here.
This is not over. It's still
This
not
is
over.
not over. I mean, we still have a kickoff event too. We never know what's gonna happen.
Maybe we get an extra turn.
Exactly.
Then he
Yeah.
has 3 turns.
But still, I mean, the Yobz have made this a game again, and it's a very nice opening game in MML, and just this kind of high skill play that we come here to watch and to announce on. This is exactly why we play in MML.
Exactly. Have we seen a misclick, a bad play, something that was a bad decision, anything? No, this has been high-level play here. Those two coaches know their teams. They know what to do. We've seen the slowly moving up cage by Coach Morshots the first half. The Chaos waiting for their chance to really progress the cage down the field. Finally getting their chance in turn 8 and being able to score after Coach South waited all half for his chance to break into the cage and knock down the ball carrier. Coach Schott still scored, and the second half was a bit more back and forth, I'd say. It was rather interesting. There were a couple of turns, couple of twists in this in this game, but that made it really interesting. So we saw two very different games in both halves, I'd say.
Let's see.
Just walking around here, back to the obviously South now has breathed a big sigh of relief. He's a lot more settled. Obviously, a draw is better than a loss, especially with the new rules that have been brought in this season to the MML. So that point will go in his favour for now. But like you said, can more shots as Bill Cowher in these next two downs? Can he score and take the win?
I've seen stranger things happen for sure. Let's see what happens. And the Yobz get an extra reroll, and that's very nice for them. They were down to 0, so
that might help them. Yeah,
the kick is a nice one for shots here. It could have been better, but it could definitely have been worse.
I mean, he still has a reroll if he decides to move Stolinskaya all the way down the field. Oh no, Stolinskaya is out of scoring range in 2 turns. That's not an option. So he needs to get one of his beastmen down in scoring range. That's really important now. And then just has to hope for a bit of luck.
We're seeing some claw action again.
So Bodrick is out for this game. He won't make an impact. And that's about it. He won't suffer more damage here by Irish Carbomb's pylon.
Still have one more claw hit probably.
Yeah, let's see how that's going.
And he's sacrificing the loner there. Hoping for some bad rolls.
So here comes the next claw hit on the other Black Orc.
And that's a KO.
And Gorfag is KO, and I think Coach South is really relieved since he had to waste his Apo, that not more damage is coming towards him from those claw pieces, at least for now.
And what are we gonna see now? Are we gonna see a move up there? So you're gonna see some passing action if anything's gonna happen next turn.
And then we got 3 Chaos players down to try to make that score happen the next turn. We got Odell Backram Jr. there, we got Jack Daniels, and we got Warren Sapp there, who could, in a combined effort, still make this into a touchdown.
Damn, that's a bad one.
That's really bad, especially knowing you still have to make that pass.
Yeah.
This is a reroll Coach Shots would really want back here. He's frustrated. He just ends his turn.
Yeah, of course he needed to try there at least to block that blitz that guy with. It was a 2-die attempt on only blocker, not a blodger. So I mean, it was a good try.
Yeah, and Warren sat there. I mean, I think he's the only guy on Coach Shot's team who doesn't know how to block against somebody really, and
except for Loner.
yeah, but he's not on his team. he's just filling up some space on the pitch. That's about it.
And right now he has an important role. He's there to waste some rerolls and hope that nothing happens there. Hope for skulls and stuff. So he has to use his reroll, and he can't free those players up.
So Coach South goes safe here first. He wants to mark up Steven Gotkowski, so he won't be a scoring threat. And now he's going for the main offense side. Coach More Shots putting out there.
Get an assist now.
But of course it's hard to get a blitz on that threat there, that AG4 Beastman.
Exactly. Odell Backram Jr. is still in scoring range. He knows how to dodge. So Coach South will try everything he can to put up a safe defense here to not give him the space he needs to rush into the end zone. I mean,
And then
he
the
needs to
loner
put
goes
extra
again.
movement in there.
Yeah.
And the loner's out again. I don't need to mention that. I mean, he will have to like move extra a couple of more squares to actually make it to the end zone, to actually score here. But Odell Beckham Jr. Is his best receiver. He's actually the beastman who he was actually his conference leader in most receptions last season.
Oh, and
so
that
he's a good receiver, and he knows.
failed dodge could really hurt the works here.
Exactly, because he's a good receiver, and this will be an easy reception for him if the pass works out. That is, if that pass works out, and that's, I think, our key moment here. Will he pass it on to KS Warrior and then pass it, or what do you think? Is he gonna go two-way, like? Is he gonna do two simple things, or
He has no
one...
rerolls. He's gonna go for the pass only.
He's go for the long pass, right, or longer pass?
It's a short pass, I think. It's not a quick pass. It's a short pass.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be short. Yeah.
Oh.
He doesn't block him out of the way. That leaves a very, very difficult route for Odell Beckham Jr. here.
And there's only one thing to do here.
Even if Odell Beckham Jr. catches this ball, it will be tough for him to get to the end zone. There we go.
And going for it.
He's gonna make it to a quick pass.
No, we don't see the end of that, but we can see it was a failed one.
Work out. And that was the game.
That was the game, yeah.
Morkney, Harry Warthog's favorite Orcish blitzer, becomes the MVP of this game. He didn't do much, but he's still the MVP. And Irish Carbomb, who actually did quite some damage to the Orc team with his pylons, is the MVP for Bill Cowher Power Hour.
Yeah, what we can see here is the blocks have been successful blocks, 46 for Yobz against 49 for Bill Cowher Power Hour. Ball possession has been 50% for Bill Cowher Power Hour, but occupation on own half has been, a bit less for Yobz, but it's been a very even game in many ways, I think. I was expecting more injuries from the Power Hour on the Yobz, but it didn't really work out with those claws.
I'd say in both ways, even knowing the injury and kill record of the Yobz here.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised there wasn't more blood drawn here. Maybe it's as we said before, it's the first game of the season. It's going to be a long season. Nobody wants to lose his player early on. Nobody wants to put his players in more risk than necessary. And that's the result of this game. I mean, we even had more armor breaks on the Yobz side than on the Power Hour. I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, I'm very surprised by that.
It felt like a lot more.
Do we have the coaches in the chat here?
I invited both. I think Coach Schatz is here. I don't know about Coach South if he's going to join us. But I think Coach Schatz is here.
So, who wants to go first? What is your feeling about this game?
South here?
No, he's not here yet. I invited him, but
okay.
I don't know.
So, Shots, what do you think? Opening game.
It went all right. There was a few things that I wanted to do a little bit differently and didn't get opportunities. That his positioning kind of stopped me from doing a few things that I wanted to try. He was his defense he kept putting pressure on, and I kept throwing blocks and just couldn't get the crucial breaks early that I was hoping for.
Yeah, it was looking good the first block you made there, when you KO that guard Blackwork. But after that, I mean, you get some injuries, and you probably made it easier for the next opponent to get Yobz. But for you, it didn't really work out the way I think you hoped.
No, it went all right. It's one of those where you just throw the blocks, you try and be as successful as you can, and you roll the dice every now and then and hope it breaks your way. But I got to give the Yobz a lot of credit. They played aggressive and they kept me kind of stalled out in the first half for a while. I wasn't in a rush to get a touchdown or anything, but it was one of those where I would have liked to have had a little bit more progression early on. But yeah, it was just throwing as many blocks as I could, trying to get armor breaks, trying to get that numbers advantage that I needed. I was pretty happy with the first half, you know, getting the one touchdown and not really giving them an opportunity to, you know, respond, and yeah. So.
Were you worried there in turn 8 that it might not work out?
No, no and yes. Yine. It was a little. It was a little where it was to the point where I had to get a pickup. I did have a reroll, I believe, at that time still, so
yeah,
it was a little bit less risky. I wanted to get a hit on the Goblin with the pylon on that, and I finally did get an open shot on him. It didn't end up doing anything, but it was one of those things where that was one of my goals, is to try and isolate the Gobble with the pylon player at some point to get that pylon action going on him, in hopes to get him off the field and get that numbers advantage. But yeah, it wasn't. He definitely didn't make it easy on me. I kept throwing different you know, combinations with the guard, trying to force him to really work around my players and that, because I mean it was pretty much contact with players every turn. It wasn't to the point where either team separated. That it was it was you know, face-to-face contact, and it was just, you know, it was kind of like I predicted. You know, the numbers advantage didn't go either way, and just turned into a street fight.
Yeah, and you were almost right with your 100 block prediction. We were just
I'm actually surprised. I'm a little surprised that they're so low, because it felt like we were just swinging every turn. I thought it was going to be at least 50-some apiece, because yeah, it just felt like every turn there was 3-4 blocks each side going. So
yeah, I mean, in the beginning you guys were a bit more cautious. I think in the beginning, I think both of you guys tried to keep away from contact a bit, because of he was I think a bit worried about the claw pieces there, understandably so. So to not have too much contact. I think the second half was a bit more all-in street fight.
Yeah, and that was he took an aggressive stance that he opened up looking like he wanted to try and pass up into the AG4 guy. So I kind of swarmed that and choked that off for a while, and then I really I thought I had him when I was able to get the ball out of his hands and get it upfield, and they were just able to chase it back down. And yeah, I got to give the Goblin credit for you know, getting the ball upfield and that, and really one of those where, you know, I know a lot of our orc teams don't end up using a Goblin. We're seeing them a little bit more frequently, but yeah, it adds another you know, facet to the game, having that one stunty player that's able to you know, kind of juke and jive around and dart into places. So yeah, I think it's one of those where maybe the Grunts picked up Iggy Max, but maybe the Wrecking Crew and possibly the Titans may look at picking up a Goblin if the little Gobos keep having success.
I mean, you have to see that the Goblins need an event to happen to the team to really step up their game. You know, the Yate Yobz without the troll. I believe Coach Preach lost a key player right before Iggy Max stepped up his game. I don't remember his name. I think I don't know who it was, but I think
Leroy Jenkins. He lost Leroy Jenkins, and yeah, the replacement was Iggy Max, the Goblin.
Do you want some salt rubbing it into the wounds, or? I tried to avoid saying the name again, but I mean, he will be dearly remembered.
As an announcer in this game, I think this game is clearly speaks about the high skill level of MML. It's just an amazing game here for to see how you build up your chaos attack plan there in the first half. To see Yobz coming back from that situation that looked very, very disastrous for them, and to actually make it a 1-1 game. As Lou here said, we didn't see any misclicks, we didn't see any really bad plays or anything. I mean, after you can always think about, yeah, if I've done that instead, but I mean, I think the decision making here was sound through the whole game, and I think you played a very good game, both coaches.
Oh yeah, it was one of those where he kept me guessing at times. I tried to put pressure when I could. You know, there were a few things where I thought he would act differently, but you know, it was one of those where you know, he picked his locations fairly carefully. He had a solid game plan. Yeah, it was one of those where I got real hopeful for a 2-0 victory at that one point. He turned the field on me again with that goblin and got the ball
Did you
back
know
over to
it's
the
rumored that
the other
Spike
half and really
magazine
put the
editor
pressure on me.
Yore Reno
I had high hopes,
hates
but just
sport and would rather
couldn't stop
play
the
with
Orcs
action
from getting that
figures
1-1
instead.
equalizer.
This has nothing to do with
And
Do we have any
yeah,
more questions from the crowd, maybe, with Nords? Can you see if there's any questions out there to...
Can I actually just add, it's so nice, and I'd like to congratulate Coach Marschatz on actually getting his freedom from Alcatraz prison.
Oh, yeah,
How does it feel
it's
to be a
nice
free man?
It's nice to be free of chains and able to go wherever I please. It's a nice change of pace. I'm not entirely free because
So
I still
you're
have
not into
to.
bondage then?
No, not yet. At least we're dabbling with that. I believe we have dark elves next week, and they have a couple of witch elves. So I mean, you never know. Might have to try some of that stuff out.
Whips and chains, it's always fun.
Oh yeah.
What did you have to give those Skaven in return for freeing you?
I'm not sure yet. So far, I think it's just gratitude, but I have offered them my help in the future if they find an opportunity where they need some help or something like that. But at some point, I hope to move back to the west and maybe face them at some point. So maybe it's a friendly wager or something like that. I don't know.
If I maybe is so bold, Thunden has actually commented that Alcatraz is sending the Titans to reclaim you
got
in
so
Game 4.
many twerps coming through.
Oh,
on
I don't know
Twitter.
about that. I'm soaking up my freedom as much as I can at this point, so I don't think I'm going to be going back.
and also South here, he said he thought it was done for, and he expressed opinions about he felt that he stole a draw here, but I mean it was a great play from his side, and I mean I think it was all due to his way of thinking about how to move that ball up the pitch to those guys there, and yeah. It was a very nice move.
It was three very well played turns by him in a row, and if any of those things had gone wrong, it wouldn't have worked out. If he wouldn't have thought about any of those, it wouldn't have worked out. It was a very solid, very decent, good play. So I don't think he has to feel ashamed for that. Of course, we also felt this game was done, but his coaching skills got him the draw there.
Yeah.
No, that was one of those where I saw him keeping it open. I didn't think he'd be able to get the ball all the way up there, and it was one of those where I tried to get some people back to help prevent it, and it was just one of those where I was a bit too slow, and he was able to move the ball just like I was. I played a little risky to try to get the ball up the field, and that after picking it up and making a bit of a throw and then a run. So. I mean, we both took chances in that, and it was one of those where I think they both risks paid off for both of us. So I don't think by any means that he stole a tie here. It was a well played match, and yeah, I mean we were playing for for pride and points, and neither of us were going to lie down or give up. So I mean he earned it. The one thing that I did notice that I don't think there was a double skull during the entire game. In the second half, I kept waiting for it to happen and waiting for it to happen, and it was one of those where I never saw it really pop up where the blocks where you think you're safe that they didn't come back and bite either of us. So I thought it was pretty balanced. I thought he coached a real great game, and it's one of those where I wish I could have got the player advantage and really put it to him, but no, it was one of those where the Orcs hung in and got a well-earned draw there. So I wish him luck moving forward, and I know that one of his Black Orcs is going to miss a game or something like that. I think there might have been a stat down involved, but I mean, I think they're gonna be fine moving forward, and they'll put up a good fight against the rest of the play pool.
Yeah, and this game actually makes it so no team has taken the lead in the DVC SCC conference or play pool, so it's everyone's game so far to take that first lead in the play pool. And,
yeah, it'll be a tight race. I know that Preach is working on getting the podcast up, and it was one of those where when we were going through this play pool, I'm not going to do any spoilers, but I'll just say this: I really didn't venture a guess on who would be going to the playoffs. That it's one of those where I can see any one of the 8 teams, going on a run and really locking up playoffs. So it's really competitive. A lot of great coaches, a lot of well-built teams. So yeah, it's one of those where keep an eye on this. The Sword Coast, Death Valley, because I mean it's going to be every week. It's going to be 4 solid games with a lot of entertainment. So I mean, yeah, keep an eye out. I know that a couple of the other ones are already booked. So
Yeah, it's going to be
definitely
nice.
tune in.
Any more questions? Any more comments?
Not from my side.
I'm
Harry?
good. I'm good.
I
Thanks,
think we're gonna can call it a night then. I think we thank both our coaches for putting up a great show here for us to announce. It was a lot of fun calling this game. I think we're going to see a couple of more good matches over the next few weeks. This season is going to be a good one, a competitive one. Nobody wants to give up any game due to the new league regulations. This is going to be a great season, and I think we saw a great start. Any of you people out there who don't know about the MML yet, go check us out on mmlpro.com. You will find the podcast Shots was just talking about in a couple of hours or in a couple of days, where our coaches talk about development in the league, predictions, interesting stuff. You see background stories for all those teams, a couple of stats, details, everything you might want to know about our game.
There's also a Discord link, so you can join us and chat with us and join and play in the MML. So just if you like Blood Bowl and if you have a PS4, there's really no reason to not join us.
I expect a thank you card from NTB and Rodentia ad nauseum. I just checked, and there's 2 Black Orcs out for the next game, so I expect to be well paid for my work.
And with those words,
that was probably the Skaven payback they were looking for, right?
It might have been. I'm not sure. I mean, it was a well fought battle, and I worked for every block I got. That they kept the pressure on me. I give them a lot of credit. They kept me moving, guessing, and trying to get the numbers advantage in spots. So no, Yate Yobz is a dangerous team, and I'm happy to get out alive on this one.
Yeah. And with those words, this broadcast is finished, and thank you guys.